Ghost Cult Magazine is honored to be once again connected with Sarah Jezabel Deva. How are you, Sarah?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I find it so strange when people use those words like honored or, just, I don't know, it's really strange for me to hear that someone's happy to talk to me.
Oh, well, I think
Funny.
I would think a lot of well, I'm glad, and I would think a lot of people are happy to talk to you. You're very humble. You always have been, but you are a legend. And we last spoke, as we said right before we started recording, 10 years ago, before Ghost Cult was even a thing. I was running another publication that is now defunct, and you were in the midst of a big solo career and I think even a personal renaissance at the time, and really at a creative peak. And I wanted to just first start off by saying welcome back with this brand
Thank
new
you.
music, Torn Between Two Worlds, which is amazing. And we have a single out and another single coming. But in general, I just wanted to catch up with you first, make sure you've been well, your family's well, because this has been just a madness time in the world recently.
Yeah, it's not been easy, but we're alive, and I think that's the good thing. Um, it's been an awful, awful time for so many people. It's been hard for us, but just like it has been for everybody. I mean, obviously, you get the few people that don't take it seriously and think it's a big joke. And obviously, it's not funny, if someone that close to you has, got COVID or been strongly affected by COVID. It's not been nice. And I've seen so much stuff around me, so many incidences and situations to do with COVID. It's just sad. It's very sad. And as I said, until it affects you personally, yeah, people are still laughing about it. And they've, lots of theories about what it is, what it isn't, who's responsible. And it's just like, well, people are still dying. Have those theories afterwards, and let's just get through this first.
Naturally. And I do believe we're going to be okay eventually. This has happened before in the world and it'll happen again, surely in our lifetime.
Yeah.
But we're
Yeah.
going to be okay. It's just been hard. And of course, it's been hard for our industry. So, it's just been, just unfathomable, but it's going to be okay. I am positive it is going to be okay eventually. We're starting to get to the other side, I think, finally.
Yeah. Slowly, slowly.
Indeed. And so, yeah, you've been, I think there's a misperception that you would permanently retire for music and not doing anything, which is untrue. You have made music in this span of time and you
Yeah.
have popped up here and there on projects. And so you haven't
Yeah.
been retired, but you did definitely take a step back from your career. And you had a very intense, like 15, 20 years at the start of your career there. So I wanted to kind of catch up with you and see what you've been up to generally since the last full length album in
Well,
2011.
so we did an EP for Listenable Records, Malediction,
Mm.
which, if you're aware, I did a track with Danny, did a track with Bjorn from Soilwork, and yeah, 3 tracks, and absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. But I think I was at that point where I just had enough of so much. Oh my God, so much lying, backstabbing, egos, attitudes, people ripping each other off, claiming to support people, but there was always an ulterior motive, whether it be money or personal gain. I just literally had enough, and there would be so many musicians out there that would totally understand what I'm saying. There comes a point in your life where you go, do you know what? Enough's enough. I want to sing. I've always wanted to sing, but so many people want to ruin stuff for you, whether it's a personal attack or, direct, indirect, whatever. People have a very, very good way of bringing you down. And I thought, why I've still got some sanity left, I'm just going to walk away. And it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I still wanted to sing, hence the reason I was still working for Hakate Enthroned. I did a live show with Nada Sadak. You know, I was still doing little things, but I kind of lost my passion because, as I said, I still wanted to sing, but I was just sick and tired of people judging, not necessarily judging me, but how vindictive and nasty people can be when someone's trying to make something of themselves. And, you know, there's people around every corner waiting to just watch you fall. And so I was married, we had a child, and my son was and still is the most important thing in the world. So I couldn't do both, not mentally anyway. So, and then, yeah, there's, I probably won't ever do the touring thing again. I've done that now. You know, I wouldn't really want to be away from my son, but um, there is something on the horizon. You know, I'm going to do some shows with Mortis on the Mayhem tour, which freaks me out a little bit, if I'm honest, because I don't necessarily want to be on a tour bus, using a tour bus toilet. I really could think of not many things that are worse than that. But yeah, so I took about 8 years out, and then people were like, well, why aren't you singing? Why aren't you doing this? People want to hear you. And I was hearing all this stuff from people who were supporting me, and then all the fans. I mean, I'm lucky, so lucky to have so many people stand by me. But they were like, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And I hadn't actually told them that I'd taken a major step back. And I was like, so one day I just came out with it on my Facebook page, my music page, and I said how I felt and why I stopped. And then, I don't know, just started to get my mojo back, as I suppose you could put it. And then Lindsay Schoolcraft came along, really supporting me. We hadn't really talked before, but she was absolutely brilliant, and she woke me up. She woke me up. So I got music gear at home, loads of other people I'd worked with in the past helping me, supporting me. And yeah, that's the point that I'm at right now. I'm back, as it were, you know.
Amazing. And thank you for sharing that. I know that's a lot of, maybe dredging up some stuff for you. And the industry is brutal. And you started like you are now back, basically all along as an artist. You love singing. You have a magnificent voice. You have something to bring to music we really didn't hear before you entered the musical world and Cradle, and people became vastly aware of you. And so I think it's interesting. What happens is the business of music is just what it is. It's a business like any other brutal endeavor, even though you start out as an artist and you want to make art and make music. So I know it's hard for a lot of people to reconcile. And you worked so hard. You were so prolific for so long, in and out of a major band that traveled and toured the whole world. So it
Yeah.
takes its toll.
Oh no, it really, really does take its toll. I'll probably end up saying this in so many interviews that I do, and it's not me putting myself down at all. But the things people say, the lovely things people say, I don't understand that. When people use the word legacy and legend, and it's like, oh, it's really hard for me to hear those words without cringing, because I suppose I should acknowledge that I've taken part in so many amazing albums, and I'm very, very lucky. But I find it difficult when people say really nice things. But how I feel is I've taken a major step out, and it's changed so much. The scene has changed so much that I really am a has-been. That's how I see it. I wasn't even yesterday's news. I wasn't even 10 years ago news, because no one took a backing singer seriously. No one ever really took me seriously. press didn't take me seriously. Um, you know, and that's part of it. I never planned on being just a backing singer, but that's just what happened. Um, and if you look at the scene now, you know, okay, so when I started, there was hardly any female singers about, you know, not doing the operatic thing in extreme metal bands. Um, you know, there was very, very few women, and now they're everywhere. And I don't mean that in a nasty way, but now it's a very cutthroat business. It is very competitive, and trying to get anybody's attention now is probably, oh, I don't know, probably a lot harder than what it was sort of 10 years ago. But then I never really had that attention then. And I mean this in, again, a nice way. I didn't really want people's attention. I just wanted to sing, just like what I want to do now. I just want to sing. And, you know, I'm working with Chris now, which is brilliant again. Um, but I just want to sing. I just want people to hear the music. I don't care if people judge me, like me, hate me, whatever they want to say. I just want to sing, and hopefully people will like what we're doing. Don't want the fame. I know it might sound really weird saying all of that, but don't want the fame. Just want people to hear the music and enjoy it. And that is the most important thing for me. So, you know, I could get 10, 15 interviews out of the first single and the second single that we're doing, and we could gain 10 fans. And you know what? That's great for me. That, because that's 10 people that never supported us before. But I don't think many people, press wise, are going to give us the time of day. And another reason being is because we want to remain independent. You know, we don't really think we want a record company behind us, because then we lose the rights to everything that we've done. And that's a big stab in the back, really, when you work so hard at your music and then suddenly you get an email going, your content has been removed because you don't own this. You know, it's, we kind of, I think we've done it. We've got the t-shirt, and we just want to do this now for us and for fans as well. It really is for the fans as well. So hopefully all that makes sense. Um, I'm just trying to be me. I think Chris is just trying to be him, and you can take us or leave us. I don't know if it all makes sense, but I think maybe I'm a lot older now, so my head's a lot more clearer in where I want to go in my life, you know?
Nice. There's so many things to unpack. Just briefly as an aside, I'm so glad you brought up Lindsay Schoolcraft, huge friend of Ghost Cult, and we're huge fans of hers. And I interviewed her at the tail end of her tenure in Cradle, and we talked about you in our interview. And she raved about being inspired by you and how she would love to work with you. That was like on her bucket list. And then I saw her post about talking to you, and I was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this is actually happening. And I'm just a fan. I can't imagine how it must have been for her, because she again, she raved about what a, you know, inspiration you were to her. Yeah, just fantastic stuff. And I'm so pleased you're back working with Chris. Is just obviously a natural colleague and collaborator for you. Anybody who is a fan of Anctoria will love your work with Chris. So this, I love these two songs. I hope we're going to get more. The Beauty of Deception is out now. All Eyes on Me is coming out soon. I have had the lucky fortune to hear it. It is magnificent and even better than the first track, and personally for me. I
Yeah.
love them both though. And I hope this is the start of, you know, as much as you can manage between your personal life and wanting to sing again. I hope this is the start of, you know, perhaps more music from you in the future.
Yeah. Also, just touching on Lindsay, as I say, everyone has her to blame for me actually doing this, because I have to admit, me and Lindsay speak nearly every other day. It's crazy. Only just like, you know, WhatsApp and voice messages and stuff. And but she's been absolutely brilliant for opening my eyes, and that is because we have had very, very similar experiences. Um, so without saying too much, things she's been through, I've been through, and we found a connection. And so, yeah, she's the reason, as I say, that I'm doing this. You know that we did a song together. It's in her hands now, so I could end up sounding like Mickey Mouse. I don't know, but she's now finishing that when she's got the time. She is hopefully going to do something for me on video for All Eyes on Me. I can't tell you too much about the video just in case it comes out wrong, but well, it's a lockdown video. It's very, very difficult. But you know, me and Chris have had these ideas. We're working on them. We're getting fans involved and friends involved. So yeah, I think me and Lindsay, I think that's a friend for life, if I'm honest, because I think she's lovely. I think she's wonderful. And she's given me the faith back in myself. As for Chris, there's two people in this world that I work so incredibly well with. One is Dan Abella. He was part of my solo stuff. We wrote a lot of, well, nearly all of it really, of The Corruption of Mercy and the Malediction album. He's been by my side for so long, since the first album, because the first solo album went so badly wrong. Over editing, oh, you name it, it was like polishing a turd. That's how I put it. Some stuff came out amazing, and he tried to save the bad stuff, but it didn't go down very well. It was very hard for him, but we became very, very good friends. He had a recording studio. He's still got a recording studio. He's extremely successful, and he's just a brilliant, giving person. As I say, we just click when we work together. The other person is Chris Wren. You know, we met 2002 on the Therion Evergrey tour. We clicked. We work so well together. We wrote the 5-track demo together, which we then got a deal with Listenable. We did God Has a Plan for Us All, where Chris wrote nearly the entire album. Obviously, I did melodies and vocals, but, you know, and I've really missed working with Chris. A lot of people say, why was that the only album? Why didn't Anctoria tour? And that is because I was a singer for Therion, and I was doing Mortis, I was doing Cradle of Filth, and I favoured Cradle of Filth really over everybody. And I shouldn't have. I should have put myself first. But I thought I would get more out of the loyalty that I gave that band, and I didn't. And so Anctoria fell to the background, and, you know, me and Chris always planned on working together again, but it just didn't happen. And it's taken this long for us to get back together again. We did attempt something a few years ago, and funny enough, they are the songs that you're hearing now. I recorded the vocals for The Beauty of Deception and All Eyes on Me with Dan Abella. The tracks got lost, and I know loads of people, like, they promote stuff as the lost tracks, but that's literally what they were. They were lost. Chris found one of the tracks, The Beauty of Deception. They were demo vocals. He done a really good job with the demo vocals. It is what you hear. And then I re-recorded the vocals for the new song in my front room. It would come out amazing. But all the credit is with Chris. You know, he's a phenomenal composer. He's so talented. You know, he's got a recording studio. He mixes, he masters, he records. That man can do everything, and I think he can play near on every instrument possible. So I'm very lucky, and it's what I've been waiting for, really, for a really long time, for me and Chris to get back together again. And this is an extension, in my eyes, of Anctoria. You compare this music to God Has a Plan for Us All, and it really is in the same vein, but just a bit more mature, because Chris did the writing, and we're really happy with how it's come out. And as I said, lucky, feel very, very lucky. So
Right on. I agree. I got those immediate vibes for God Has a Plan for Us All immediately when I heard the first track. I was like, oh, this is wonderful. And what a treat, like I said, for fans. And, of course, it's, again, like I said, getting back to what you're meant to do, which is use that wonderful voice and spread your words. Like, let's not forget about your lyrics. And I feel like in your solo career, obviously is a much deeper extension of you personally, your ability to craft a lyric. And I think your music is very inspirational and uplifting, despite how much heavy music has a bad reputation for being dark and ominous.
Mm.
It's great that you've always had a very uplifting, positive message to share.
Well, I think if you listen to the lyrics on 6 Feet Under's Not Deep Enough, that's not very positive. but um but I mean that was Antoria, but
Mm.
everything that I write is about people or myself or situations that I've been in, situations that people have been in. The best way to put it is I'm very inspired by, can I swear? You're
Sure,
not
yeah,
going
go
to
ahead.
bleep me out. I'm
No.
very inspired by shit people. They make for brilliant songwriting because you can be very creative with it. But then if you take, it's really late. I've been up since 20 to 5 this morning and I'm just trying to use my brain and it's obviously really late. But if there's some of the songs like, is it Sirens? There's songs like that are very fantasy based, but they all come from, again, things that I dreamt of when I was a child or nightmares that I had. But generally, I write about people and situations. There is some positive stuff in there, but to be fair, I find it really hard writing about positive stuff. I think I could end up going towards like the pop side, and I don't really want to be writing, oh baby, I love you, come back to me. I don't think it would suit me. And I don't think it would go down very well either with everybody else.
Fair enough. There's enough pop singers and love songs and anti-love songs in the world. And, I'm glad we have you in our corner of the world as well, selfishly. I'm going to give you back your evening. I just have one last question for you, Sarah. And again, it has been wonderful to chat with you. Would you say, or could you say, or identify up to now a song in your career? If you had to say, this is the song or the album I want to be remembered for, what is that? And maybe you haven't made it yet. I don't know.
Oh, God, what a question. You should have let me know.
Aw.
I don't know. That's what the wise lady said,
Mm.
I suppose. From my stuff. Are you saying like the stuff that I've
Yeah. Oh, I
written?
mean your solo music. Yeah, your solo
Yeah,
music or any project you've been the leader of. I don't mean
I think
Cradle. I mean your
I,
stuff
yeah,
personally.
I think it would have to be that's what the wise lady said from Antoria.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few. No paragon of virtue and 6 feet under's not deep enough. But yeah, probably that's what the wise lady said, being the top.
Awesome.
There's so many. There are so many that are really personal to me. Like newborn failure. I think, yeah, newborn failure. There's just so many that are personal and that I would, yeah, like to be remembered for. But the one that always does come back from the fans is actually that's what the wise lady said. So
Sarah Jezabel Deva, thank you so much for spending some time with Ghost Cult. Torn Between Two Worlds, The Beauty of Deception track is out now on all streaming services, and the next single, All Eyes on Me, drops May the 2nd. Thank you so much for spending some time with Ghost Cult.
oh no, thank you so much for supporting us.